Hey y'all. Mm. Today G is for Gideon. He is in Judges 6 through 8 and the Hebrews Faith Hall of Fame, chapter 11. Gideon is the fifth judge to be raised by God to come out and help the Jews with some problems they're having. So this is what's going on. The Midianites have been invading the Jewish tribes, and they do it every single time they hear that they have food or animals, supplies. They go in and they are like grasshoppers. They invade them and take everything. And so the Jews are now currently living in caves, in mountaintops. They're living in many strongholds they can get together. But we know that the Midianites are gearing up again to go and invade because Google has been sending them advertisements saying, hey, the Jews are, they're buying and selling goats. They got a little bread and wheat going on. And while shipping isn't free, you can go and get it cave side. And that's exactly what the Midianites are going to do. They're going to invade and take everything they possibly can from the Jewish people. Now in comes Gideon. So Gideon is secretly processing wheat, but he's doing it at the bottom of a pit so that nobody can see him or hear him. Now, normally to process wheat, the Jews would get on top of a hill. The threshing floor was always on the top of a hill so that the wind would bring all the dust away from them. But here Gideon is, and an angel appears to him and says, hello, mighty hero. God is with you. And Gideon doesn't miss a beat. He says, yeah, where's God at? We're living in caves. Our children are hungry. We have nothing. We're hiding in mountains. Where are the old miracles? Where are they at? And the angel says, you've been chosen to save your people from the Midianites. And Gideon says, I'm the weakest link of the weakest link. How's that going to happen? What's that going to look like? And the angel says, look, God is with you. This is happening. So you need to get real comfortable with it. So Gideon says, well, okay, well, how about a couple of tests then? Because it's all fine and dandy that I'm going to be the savior of my people, but there's 125,000 of them, and I only got 25,000 if they answer the phone and if I'm lucky. And God says, what do you want? And Gideon thinks, and he says, well, I have this wool fleece, and I'm going to leave it here overnight. And overnight, if you make it really wet, but everything around it's dry, then I'll believe you. I'll believe you. So that's what God does. And in fact, the next morning, Gideon can wring a whole bowl full of water out of that wool, but everything else is dry. So he says, okay, now don't hate me, but I'll really, really believe you if we just change it up a bit. Let's do that. Make everything wet and the fleece will be totally dry. If you do that, I'll really, really believe you. And God says, okay, that's easy peasy, nothing to it. And sure enough, that's what happens. And it's at this point, well, let me back up a little. There's nothing really insignificant in the Bible. So don't ever try to pull the wool over God's eyes, and never try to fleece God. He knows what's in your heart. He knows what you're going to do next. So, but it is at this point where Gideon gets this spirit over him, and he finally gets it that God is with him, and that he's got this in the bag. He literally starts coming from a place of victory, and he knows he's going to win. Now Gideon gets his people together, and it turns out, 25, 30,000, and God says, you got too many. This battle belongs to me, and I want everyone to know that the battle is mine. I'm winning this war. And so the bottom line is Gideon gets down to 300 people, 300 to take on 125,000. So God gives every man a horn and a ceramic jar with a little lantern in it and says, go in at night, blow the horn, break the jar. And that's exactly what happens. And these Midianites are in such chaos because of the noise, the darkness. They don't know what's going on. And they start killing themselves is what happens. They get so decimated as a tribe. They never come back from this. So the Jewish people win. They live in peace with Gideon as their military leader. So what do we get out of Gideon? You know, when we're in our pit of despair, look at yourself to see what you can do to change. Don't blame God. But as a child of God, know that the battle belongs to the Lord, and then hand it over to him and come from that place of victory in your heart. So again, G is for Gideon, Judges 6-8, and Hebrews chapter 11. Have a wonderful, wonderful day and blessings to you.